On this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock,
we talk circles around a new feature Twitter is testing.
Microsoft Advertising is making new remarketing lists, and you should check them twice.
Customer Match is now matching to more uses within Google Ads.
All on today's show.
Welcome, you are listening to Marketing O'Clock. Just stay tuned. Digital marketing news, but let's get specific. Digital ads, SEO and analytics, social media and more. Pretty much everything that'll make your website perform. With new shows every Friday. We give you the news with sass and puns and definitely hot takes. Thank you for tuning in. You know what time it is. It's officially Marketing O'Clock. Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.
Hey there, I'm Christine Zernheld.
AKA Shep.
I'm Jess Budd.
And I'm Greg Finn.
And it is officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on May 6th, 2022. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us here in May. And hello, Greg Finn. You took a very rare vacation. We haven't seen you in almost a week.
Yes, my wife was in a conference in Florida, and I took the kids down there and joined. Saw some dolphins, hung out at a pool. Saw a bald eagle. Like I was 10 feet from bald eagle eating a fish.
I didn't know
That's
they were in
really
Florida.
cool.
I saw two of them. They just sit on piers and like eat fish. It's weird. It's super, super cool. But my kids are they're just, I don't know. They're just little psychos in a way, like lovable. One thing that they always do is try to add on more context to something. If you're like, oh, hey, Ryan Mountcastle is a good baseball player. Like they'll jump in and be like, yeah, he hit one 405 yards or something like that, or feet, and you're like, and they always try to add stuff on to like sound good. And so we're talking about when we're getting home and all these different things. And we're like, yeah, and we'll be home by 3:52 as long as the flight's not delayed. And my daughter jumps in and goes, yeah, we'll get home by 3:52 as long as the flight's not delayed or the plane crashes. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, that's technically correct. And they're talking about it again. And we're like, all right, yeah, we're going to get into, the layover by 12:15. She's like, yeah, we'll get to the layover by 12:15 unless the plane crashes.
She doubled down.
And I'm like, wait, what's happening? So we get to the airport, and we're at Fort Myers or something. Ew, it's the worst airport I've ever been to. And we get to the plane, and it's like, oh, we've got maintenance issues. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you a witch?
She's a soothsayer, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, there's like police and emergency units and medics, a stretcher's there. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I guess one of the pilots was having a problem or something, and it was ridiculous. So I spent 12 hours in airports and didn't get home till 12-ish this morning. But
if the problem had happened while you were in the air, her prediction could have been true.
I know. I think she was on to something.
That she was picking up on vibes.
Yeah. Unless the plane crashes. Just straight face, like she's telling you a fact.
You ought to just listen to her. If she's got thoughts, so, take heed.
Yeah. So that was what my vacation was. And I'm also bad at vacation. I'm just happy to be back with y'all.
Yeah, of course you're back just in time for Marketing O'Clock. Couldn't miss an episode.
Never.
Sounds a lot like you, Shep.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And while you were away, you decided to make Jess Budd the official plant taker carer of her in the office.
Yeah, she did a great job.
So I don't know if everyone sees, but we've lost a plant. The one remaining is fake, right?
Yeah, it's fake. It's plastic.
That plant is completely deflated, the one that used to be here. We'll have to show a picture.
To be fair, was never doing well. And it wasn't even on the list of plants Greg told me to water, which maybe was on purpose because I thought I did something good by watering it, and he tells me it was overwatered. So I feel like I tried to go above and beyond the call of duty and just took somebody out with me.
Plant is so dead.
So I went to the Everglades on a boat tour, and the water in this plant is greater than the entire Everglades. It's just overwatered. Well, but I think it was me, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely you, because
And it's on screen now. It's just a dilapidated plant.
I'm glad it's here. I feel comforted by it.
All the other plants are doing okay. You did an amazing job. I just don't, she's not a plant lady. I don't know why she got the job.
I think I was just like in the room when he was watering the other plants. I was like, oh, someone needs to do this. You tag, you're it. He gave me really good instructions on all the other plants. This plant wasn't mentioned, so it's not his fault.
You're just thriving.
For a reason.
Makes sense.
And we have a big announcement here because our long-awaited new merch has arrived. We have some beautiful, they're supposed to be periwinkle. It's more of a light blue, but it's very pretty or cool or whatever your vibe is. These are wonderful t-shirts and they say auto applies. LIES is very big because Google Ads is feeding us lies with these auto applies. And I think they're hilarious. And it has one of my favorite emojis, the upside down smiley face.
Yep. It is a good one.
So I'm really excited about this one. They're killer approved. She's the new fashion girl in the office. She loves them. She helped us design them. And we are giving these out to the top 20 winners of Marketing a Bracket, right?
Yep. And then we're going to have more giveaways. So just follow us on social at Marketing O'Clock.
Yes. So hopefully we'll have your size and we'll be in touch over the next week.
And keeping it here with the Ukraine update. Obviously there's a war going on or an invasion, and Bright Local is having a local SEO for Ukraine. It's a conference and you can get tickets and it's 6 hours of talks, Q&As and panels about local SEO, and the money is donated to help Ukraine. So if you're looking for yet another way to help out, check out Bright Local at Bright Local on Twitter, and you should see it there. I believe it is pinned. So thanks, Bright Local. Appreciate it.
And getting into the news this week from Greg Finn for Search Engine Land, Microsoft Ads is hitting us again. It's a new month. They have that monthly recap post with basically everything they've been holding back from announcing on their blog. So it's a lot at once. Everyone should buckle up. Biggest headline here is they have these new auto-generated remarketing lists. So you might see this pop up when you're logged in. It says new remarketing lists for your account. We've created a few default audience targeting lists for your account that you can use. You can use these lists to target your campaigns and ad groups. And I can't read that, and Jess can barely. We'll have it bigger in the YouTube video, but it's really small on my screen. So there are 3 lists that they're auto-generating. The first is all visitors. These are people who have been to your site in the past 30 days. Then they have all converters, people who have converted in the past 180 days. And then they have smart remarketing. This, according to Microsoft, is people who are likely to convert. These audiences are powered by Microsoft Advertising's audience intelligence with a goal of providing high conversion rates. I'm even scareder with Microsoft than Google Ads. They say the word smart, but it is probably worth a test. And I hope it's actually remarketing because they're calling it remarketing and not just anyone we think is going to convert.
Yeah, I should probably get more information on that.
Yeah, but
sort of on vacation.
Yeah, were you writing these articles on vacation?
Yeah.
Cease and desist.
Goodness. No wonder the bald eagles showed up. Like, let's distract
I just couldn't
this man.
sleep, and I was just up, and I'm like, write this.
So probably worth a test, but I would be wary. Tread lightly there. Also, dynamic search ads are rolling out in a ton more markets, more countries. So if you don't have those available to you in your account yet, I would check this blog post to see if you can use them now. Okay, then we have this line from Greg. Advertisers will also be rejoicing. Which, Greg!
Sorry.
Cease and desist. That is, first of all, that's my line. Second of all, it's a great line.
It's a tribute to you.
Thank you.
That's what I thought. There was a little wink in there. Also, I started saying cease and desist to my 1-year-old when she is doing things. Yeah, because now she's saying no is like her only word. So when something's really bad, I have to make it clear. Like, this is really bad. Cease and desist.
Wow.
Her vocabulary is going to be, that's good. Good momming.
I hope so. You also are going to have the ability to use DSAs on subdomains. Quote, exact auto-target URLs are coming for more fine-tuned URL equals targeting over the URL contains operator. So that'll make specific targeting much easier for advertisers. And finally, you can manage images in Microsoft Advertising Editor. And there are enhancements coming to the man. Speaking of the man, this man, Greg, what is your headshot in here? Is this from when you used to work for Search Engine Land?
Yeah, I can't figure out how to change it. I went through, I uploaded a new one. This is literally me from a picture from when I worked at logicalsolutions.net in 2005.
Wow. I mean, you look the same.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But you would never take a picture like that.
And I have a button down like the shirt on. I have a tie so you could see more of it. It's ridiculous.
That's amazing.
funny.
I went through, I'm like, I don't know how to change it. I went to gravatar.com. I uploaded my picture.
Gravatar.
It's not Gravatar. I found out that I don't know how to change this picture, but that is technically me nearly 20 years ago.
It kind of shows how seasoned you are, though. So it's kind of fun to leave.
Yes, it just doesn't look like me. People, when I took this, people were like, you look old. And now I feel like it looks young. I don't know.
I feel like you look, I mean, you wouldn't pose like that and you certainly wouldn't wear that outfit, but you look exactly the same minus the glasses.
Well, thanks.
Don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate that.
It's just not your vibe at all. No, it's very business professional.
I know. I got like a little smize on. I hate it.
What else is happening this week?
All right. As seen first by Sam Kesnich in our Discord channel, there was an email that went out to many Google Ads advertisers out there about the use of customer match in smart bidding in optimized targeting. So this is a pretty decent sized change for the way that customer match lists will be working. And instead of just being able to put those in target and be able to bid adjust up or only target that, it will actually work in smart bidding. So in optimized targeting rather. Both of them, and it's or it can work in either or. So that insight is going to help drive to get more performance from both of those. And one of the nice things is you kind of actually opt out of using these lists. So if you have a smart list of people that are like, I want to avoid or something like that, or purchasers that we don't want to send ads to, or we don't want to bug them, or whatever you have, however you got your campaign set up. You'll be able to uncheck those as well. And this is going to be something you'll be opted into. And you are able to hop into your account settings, go to customer match lists, and you can then just check which lists you do not want to make it into your smart bidding or optimized targeting. So I dig it. It's one of these things where Google needs to rely more on first party data. And this is a great way to take some of those lists that you have and expand it out, not only to just, being able to target these people by themselves, but use that intelligence in other ways, smart bidding and that, machine learning out there. So this should be a big benefit for people. And you can also just keep using manual bidding and it will not count towards that. So it's only for those two items there. Jess, what you got?
All right. Next up in the main news this week, some of you, and that's in quotes, on Twitter can now tweet to a smaller crowd. On Tuesday, @TwitterSafety tweeted, "Some tweets are for everyone and others are just for people you've picked. We're now testing Twitter Circle, which lets you add up to 150 people who can see your tweets when you want to share with a smaller crowd. Some of you can create your own Twitter Circle beginning today." That's a pretty big circle. I don't have that many friends. Though. Yeah.
I remember I have a sister who's younger than me, and when she was in high school, people did this thing called PT, and it was like your private Twitter.
Oh.
And you'd tweet like the gossip that you didn't want everyone to see. This is essentially that.
So bringing high school to Twitter sounds like drama.
Well, I would do it and just tweet about Real Housewives because nobody else cares about it. That would be fun.
That seems really nice.
Yeah.
I hope you're one of some of those folks that this test is going out to. I don't hate it either. Again, I don't use Twitter, so it's hard for me to really take a stance on this, but people find it to be kind of a toxic place. So for non-toxic, helpful marketing folks that just want to share and help each other, this could be really cool. Danny Goodwin's article for Search Engine Land, this is a quote from it. He says, "As responses to our poll on Elon Musk buying Twitter confirmed, marketers view Twitter as toxic. The word cesspool wouldn't be unfair. I've heard from many people in the search industry that they don't bother tweeting anymore for fear of being attacked." So I don't know who needs to hear this, but circles could be a nice solution for people that live in fear of that. Is this new? Like you just have a community of folks that you always have positive, productive conversations with and want to help each other. It could be a nice place for that.
Also, we keep coming back to this. I'm afraid because I don't have an edit button. And if I spell something wrong, I can't fix it. If I forget the L in Clocksker, I can't fix it.
But only 150 of your closest friends would know. So that's fine. There was mention in the article too of using it to like share exclusive content, which feels like kind of a sneaky way around super follows. Like you could share things with people as a brand or even your personal brand, right? And not make people pay for that content. So I feel like that could be nice. But again, this is just a test and it's only for some users and we have no idea what the details on that are. But Greg, you use Twitter. What do you think?
I'm a big fan of Twitter. And as we'll find out, I've done a 180 on Elon Musk and all that. So we'll get to that in the social part.
He looked great at the Met Gala.
I didn't see. But I think there's almost too much going on right now. you can now make it so you can block people, and obviously they can't see that stuff. So that's one level. Then you've got super follows where you can have people pay to see that. And I get that that's not necessarily the same, but then you have Twitter communities. And to me, that's where it's it's really sort of similar, I guess. Maybe that doesn't make sense, but you almost have too many choices. It's like, how am I going, I love that you can remove yourself from the conversation. You can mute people, you can block people, you can make it so people can't interact with you. People can still quote retweet you. There's just so many different options that it makes it very, very daunting to figure out which one. Like we have a Twitter community for Marketing O'Clock. We've never shared it because I'm not sure exactly how we want to use it. I don't know. There's almost like so many options out there.
People also do use the feature on Instagram where you have your close friends list. I don't.
Do
I don't
people
have any
use
friends.
that? I feel like there's one person I've seen that from in my, like, that I'm privy to. I guess maybe I'm just not on people's list. Oh.
I hear all the girlies use it.
Like young people? I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's it, I get it. But the minute that you start having multiple circles and you're putting people,
that's Google Plus, right?
Google
that
Plus,
was how Google Plus was. Yeah, I don't know if that's or if you could just pick one, if it's just one. I don't know. There's like no information.
Like people that you want just your personal stuff to go out to, I'm all for it. If it's just you're making lots of different possibilities out there. But yeah, that's a great point. If you want to share personal stuff to a small circle, I'm all for it.
I don't know. Well, some people can let us know how it is. We may never know. It's just a test for now.
And any of you listeners will be in my circle out there. I'll put you all in my circle.
We have more than 150 listeners, I think. You might have to make some tough choices.
I'll start making burner accounts.
What else? What else is going on, Greg?
All right. Microsoft Advertising has new certifications, and there's all new exams. And Microsoft Advertising's had a lot of movement here. They went from having 1 exam to 3 exams with this new certification, and you can get technically 4 certifications with these 3 exams. So the examinations that you can take are Microsoft Advertising Search certification is 1, Native Display certification is 2, and then Shopping certification is 3. Each of these exams, 50 questions, and once you do all 3 of them, you can get you just get it. You don't have to take another test for being a Microsoft Advertising Certified Professional. And in my opinion, that logo is the best one. It sort of looks like their Elevate logo there. I'm all for this. I think it's great to try to have people, run through there, and especially if they're keeping it up to date. I know there are other competitors out there that don't keep their exams up to date. So it's nice that they revamped this. And again, that's just the big problem with some of these things is I have not taken these. I'll take them and report back at some point. But hopefully there's not that much propaganda and what I would determine misinformation with some of the outdated stuff. Like I know it was about a month ago where broad match modified was still in a question for a Google exam. So
oh my God.
Yeah. So we'll see how this one goes, but I love that. And then it's now in what is called a learning lab to make it modern and simple. And when you get in there, there are learning paths that you can take, events, and then you get a dashboard and a trophy case. So a little bit of a gamification there, and I am all for this. You love to see it.
Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a #fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you. We simply deliver the take for your consumption. We give no opinions. We don't influence. You make the call.
And this week's Take of the Week comes from Samara Hart at PixSim on Twitter. And Samara says, I've come to the conclusion that 70% of a current Google paid search analyst job is avoiding being gaslit by Google's performance improvement suggestions. #PPC chat.
That is so true.
It's
70
also a low number.
might be low.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Now it's time for this week's ICYMI.
ICYMI people.
This is something you just might not have seen. Maybe something that you overlooked, but you shouldn't have.
ICYMI people, PPC Greg. This all started a couple weeks ago. It all started with Glenn Gabe, as it always does. He tweeted about Nextdoor launching an updated ads platform to help small businesses connect with local communities. PPC Greg chimed in and said one of the reasons we stopped using Nextdoor was because the ads platform was so difficult to use. He's excited to get back and try it again. And then he updated us this week and said if we haven't tried it yet, the account reps often offer multiple credits to get you started. So if you've been considering trying Nextdoor, it seems like now might be the time. I think they have a branding issue. They need to get like Kendra Wilkinson Basket as a spokesperson.
The girl next door.
Yeah. She's like trying to do the most right now. She just wrote a book. She's got a podcast. Like she's looking for some endorsement deals. Just hit her up.
I mean, the last time that she was relevant was when that picture of Greg was taken.
What about Alicia Cuthbert?
Who?
Cuthbert? How do you say her name?
She's not a girl next door.
No,
Sure.
Holly Madison, Bridget Marquardt.
How do you say Bridget
One of those.
Marquardt.
I
And
think-
Kendra Wilkinson.
I think
Yeah.
history will prove you wrong.
Okay.
You talking about the film?
Yeah.
Oh. Haven't seen it.
Same. Now it's time for this week's Pew Pew Lightning Round. At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
First up in the paid universe this week. Oh my God. We've got
Good news?
another people posing very important questions about Performance Max that we should already have the answer to and getting an answer, and it's confusing still. Okay, so PPC Kirk, ever heard of him? He said, PMAX question. Many have asked whether leaving assets out of PMAX will keep it exclusively on product placements, but my understanding is if there's no assets, then Google will simply auto-generate those from the feed, landing page details, any other insights to offer. And then Ginny responded, didn't really clarify for him, so he clarified further. He said, if someone doesn't add in static assets, will Google still show a static asset ad on those placements? Ginny said, currently, if you only link a product feed, the campaign will only show in shopping ad formats and text ads if opted into final URL expansion. That said, Performance Max is goal-based and designed to find conversions and conversion value across all inventory. So we want to do recommendations we do recommend including all assets. Sorry, she had to squeeze that into 280 characters. Is that what it is now? Okay, so then Alex Vanderpool noticed that they also updated the information on the Google Ads Help Center. So now it's included there. So if you want to read all of that, you can look it up there, but getting some clarity there. It's just very frustrating. I feel like, did they even know the answer before Kirk asked?
Probably not. I still don't know if they do. Sorry, Jenny.
Every time someone asks one of these questions, I'm like, wait, what?
I mean, and then she responded again to a separate question where she was saying that it includes shopping formats from search, display, including dynamic remarketing, dynamic prospecting, YouTube, and Gmail. I understand that those are shopping formats, but it's across everything.
Yeah.
It's just very confusing. And then the fact that the information is rolling out on Twitter and like the feeds get crossed, and it's hard to follow a Twitter thread.
But then also,
if we didn't have this show, we wouldn't have this information.
but if you don't put a video up and it's on YouTube, obviously it could show up as shopping, but can it still create the video for you? Because you can't get out of that video creation, right? Like I know you can't have static assets, but then are you going to get the, Windows 95 video that they make for you?
I don't know.
This is the most unreal ad type I've ever seen, or campaign type and ad type. It just shouldn't be the same thing. It doesn't make sense. Like keep smart shopping. This is just a nightmare, an absolute nightmare. This campaign type. It's the worst thought out campaign I've ever seen.
Were you thinking about Performance Max the whole time you were in Florida?
Yeah.
That's why you couldn't sleep.
That was the bald eagle's name.
Performance and Max, he saw too.
I understand all the eggs are in the basket of Google on this one. This is one of the worst decisions they've ever made.
Okay, and in other news, everybody, today Google announced its first Privacy Sandbox developer preview is live. This launch is the first step in the company's, quote, multi-year initiative to give big privacy boost to ads on Android without, quote, pulling an Apple. That quote is from the Android police.
Wow,
Yeah.
shots fired.
So apparently Apple's under arrest because pulling an Apple's a new term for me. Developers can access system images that include the latest Privacy Sandbox APIs, including the Topics API, and they're looking for feedback on this from developers. So I hope they don't pull an Apple. Sarah Stamen asked PPC chat this week from her runner. Do we say runner kick?
Yep.
Okay. She said, has anyone been asked to verify an account on Google Ads? I have one client in our MCC that got notifications and ignored it, and now the account is suspended. Oh boy. Is that like the Mickey Mouse? Oh boy.
It is now. I'd like to hear that again.
No, it'll never happen. I bought tickets to Disneyland last night.
Oh,
so.
did you call them?
Yeah. Got sorted out. I spelled my last name wrong, so.
Disneyland?
Yeah, I'm going to LA for my family's wedding,
Oh, wow.
my brother's wedding in June. And of course, I'm just making it about a Disneyland trip.
Nice.
And everyone's really stressed out from me. So I might be uninvited to a wedding.
Well, then you can spend more time at Disney.
Yeah.
That would be great. Okay, so a bunch of people replied about their experience with this. Pauline Jacober at Group 27, group spelled GRP. Just look her up. She said, we've had quite a few. If you start the process, it will extend the deadline. So start the process, people, or your account could be suspended. Oh, boy.
From what I hear, it's not hard.
It can't be.
The clients I've had do it are like, oh, yeah, it was like 3 clicks, done.
Yeah, but a lot of times there's people listening to this podcast whose client needs to do it. And sometimes it's hard to get people to just do things.
To just answer you. Yeah, that's the hardest part.
Okay, Tales from PPC Reddit. This is posted by user Brew Teve. Do you think that's how you say that one?
Brutive.
They said the do's and don'ts of Facebook ads right now for Q2 2022. I usually hate the ideas of do's and don'ts. Like that's kind of like an absolute, but these are okay. Do be patient while Facebook optimizes a campaign. Don't rely on your pixel data for retargeting. Instead, they say shift more focus on the social platform data. Do use ads to grow large, high-quality audiences, and don't assume winning lookalike and custom audiences will keep working the same as they used to. So the don'ts there are just like never say never, basically. So that's a fine don't for me. Okay, mark your calendars, everybody, because Activate, which is Microsoft Advertising's partner connection, is coming up on May 18th, 2022. It's virtual, so you have no excuse not to be there. Apparently they're saying we will share content and strategies focused on our SMB audience. So I don't know if there's going to be like new announcements made. Seems more like optimization, best practices, strategy type talk, but sounds good. So see everyone there. Augustine Fu has an article up on LinkedIn. It is called Thought Exercises on Programmatic Media. This is a very LinkedIn-y article, but it's actually really good. I think everyone should give it a read. It starts, marketers, it's Saturday morning. You've already lost me, Augustine.
I mean, yeah, you got to be on LinkedIn on Saturday morning. What are you, Greg Finn in Florida?
This whole article is very I don't know, LinkedIn. Let's do some thought exercises around the programmatic media that you're buying. The following thought starters are going to be mind-bending and thought-provoking. Hopefully you will keep an open mind as you try to wrap your head around what may be mind-blowing head scratchers. And then the hero image is this gentleman. Is he lifting weights or doing pull-ups? I can't tell. But he's very strong. It's very serious.
I think they're pull-ups.
I think he's just standing there.
He's very serious about programmatic media, and he has like an indentation from his muscles in his back that match like the Adidas logo in his hat. 3-stripe life, baby.
SpawnCon.
The only Adidas I know is the Korn song, so just keep going.
Programmatic is serious. You have to use like the arm flexing emoji, you know? So here's some of the thoughts. Advertisers are addicted. Agencies are conflicted. Augustine's just so poetic. Bots are programmed to click. Humans click accidentally. And then his conclusion says, hopefully your eyes are opened after these thought-provoking exercises. Don't worry, it's not the end of the world, but it is the beginning of you doing something about it and lifting those weights.
I like
He didn't
that
say the
ending.
lifting the weights part, to be fair.
No,
I like
did.
that ending.
No, it's a really good article. It is. I just don't do pull-ups.
And he's
You will when your daughter's about a year older.
Gotta confess, I've never done one in my whole life. How many have you done?
Pull-ups?
Yeah.
I don't even know how.
But in gym, did they used to make you try?
Probably.
Yeah,
There's
I
a
could
bar.
never
Do I
do
look
one.
like I go to gym
They
class?
wouldn't let you jump into the first one, which I think is unfair. Like, if I can jump, let me use that as a competitive advantage. But you know what I dominated in? The trunk lift. Do you know
What's
that
that?
one?
No.
Pick up an elephant?
You lay on the ground, they put like a measuring tape on the wall, and you just lift your like upper body up.
Cobra.
Broke school records.
Well, for all the hula hooping you probably did, right?
That was like a separate record. That was
Oh,
only,
okay.
that wasn't part of the presidential fitness test.
Someone call the Guinness Book. Shep's here.
What is happening in organic?
All right. First up, there was quite the hullabaloo on Twitter this week when Google came out with a new certificate, and it's basically, I believe it's a digital marketing specialist certificate that you can get. And it's over on Barry Schwartz. He covered it on Search Engine Roundtable. So if you want to take this digital marketing course that's offered on Coursera, and it, again, just quick, it's called the Digital Marketing and E-Commerce Certificate is a technical name of it. You can say qualify for in-job demands with a Google Career Certificate in Digital Marketing and E-Commerce. And some of the items listed in the bullet points are marketing coordinator. These are like jobs you can get. Search engine optimization specialist, paid search specialist, email marketing specialist, e-commerce associate, and media planner. First off, that's a huge variety for this course. So there must be a whole lot in there if you're taking this and then you can get one of these 6 jobs. Like those are wildly different jobs. Like I get if you're like, I'm going to be a digital marketing generalist or something, but like, I guess this is going to teach you to be a specialist in SEO and paid search. So everybody was getting up in arms saying, all right, now you're getting a certificate in SEO. And I don't think that's what Google meant by this in the least bit. And it's not a certificate in SEO. They're just listing out what seems like all these different jobs that you can get from there. So there's a whole bunch back and forth. I think it's not that big of a deal, but you know, it's going to lead to people that take this course on Coursera. I'm not sure exactly how much it is. I should know. And then coming and trying to sell people by saying I'm a specialist. So it looks like you can enroll for free, and then it's roughly, I think you just have to pay the Coursera. I don't know. We'll get back. I'll follow up next week. But people are then going to take this and be like, oh, I'm an SEO specialist. We're like, obviously that's not the case. You could take this, you could take the Google certification, and you're not a paid search specialist. I get it. They're trying to say that you might be applicable or you might be able to get these jobs. Hopefully you will get a job that will then train you and show you the ways of everything. So anyway, somebody responded on Barry's article saying, and their name was Real SEO, and they say, this is a hecking joke. I changed the word there. And they said, I spent 20 years proving my worth. I already deal with SEO specialists competing with me at a lower wage, and the majority of companies just don't get it. It's content, keywords, page friendliness, blah, 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 blah. And then Michael Martinez said, this is one step closer to SEO standards being handed to the SEO industry by people who are not search engine optimization specialists by profession. I've been calling for the adoption of industry standards for over a decade. People keep saying there's no need for that. When standards are there, prospective clients and employers will expect everybody to comply with them. If you don't want to have a say in what those standards are, keep fighting against them. I thought that was a good point. Like, you definitely don't want Google setting those standards for sure. So you can go check it out over on Search Engine Roundtable. Another thing that just happened here, I saw from Cyrus Shepard on Twitter. He said, crazy, you can't access the @Moz homepage from Google right now. A search for Moz shows an incredible 8 removed results from overly broad DMCA filing. DMCA literally lets anybody abuse the system, and it breaks Google, and there's a filing. You can see it in the Lumen database. Lumen has nothing to do with it. It was some other company that said there was an app that was free on that Moz had on their site. It's just one of those things to watch out for if you got clients or if you're in-house. People can put DMCA complaints up, and Google has to take the site down. And hopefully it's short, but just another thing that we all have to look out for. And you know what? It's probably not going to be taught in that SEO course by Google.
But they will teach you how to pronounce Moe's. That's what I heard.
I had to open the tweet to make sure we weren't talking about tacos.
Oh, no, it's M-O-Z.
Got you.
All right. And from Search Engine Roundtable, you can now remove personally identifiable information PI from Google search. And there's some step-by-steps of what you can do if you have confidential government ID numbers, social security, bank account, credit card numbers, images of identification docs, your signature, personal restricted official records like medical records, login, stuff like that. So if somebody has that out there, there's now a way to get rid of that, which should have been here sooner, in my opinion. All right, YouTube is expanding key moments analytics to the mobile app, and you can see live stream cross promotions as well. We talked about the key moments coming, and it is now here, and it basically shows like where people are interacting the most with your videos. And lastly, here in the organic news from Nikki Jumpfly on Twitter, she says, email about Google Ads, Google Merchant Center. No more out_of_stock. We use out of stock all the time because just removing an item from the feed still allows the item to show for up to 24 to 48 hours. She got a message saying that that many people would use the out of stock, and instead they should use the pause attribute. So if you are using out of stock to try to get those out of the feed or out of Google Shopping, you now will want to use pause. So you can see that again in all the links to the stories over on community.marketingoclock.com. That's it for organic. What's happening in social, bud?
All right, first up in social this week from Digiday, a marketing briefing. Marketers are weary of Elon Musk's Twitter takeover. Greg, I feel like you want to talk about this. I know you guys talked a little bit about this last week. I love Nicole's take that absolutely everything is political. I feel an injection of a take on it just by Twitter takeover. I'm all for alliteration, but clearly they have an opinion. But you want to talk about it, Greg? You talked about it in the main news. You said you did a 180. I want to hear what you have to say.
I talked about it before, saying like, hey, this person was able to send things to space. Maybe it'll happen. And then it turns out that this person, Elon Musk, is like tweeting about putting cocaine back in Coca-Cola. And it's just like, he's just stirring the pot. I don't think he actually wants to buy this thing anymore. Like you look at these tweets and that's not what normal people would do. Like, and then like double down and be like, it's like tweeting. It's just very strange to be like, I'm just going to put the drugs back in the Coca-Cola and just tweeting memes off. It's like, bro, grow up a little. Like, I know everybody's different, but like, I would like it if you take over and make Twitter good. I wouldn't like it if it takes it over and is an idiot the whole time.
He's going to ruin Coca-Cola for one thing.
Yeah.
We can't have
maybe
that.
Make it better.
Keep your paws off my Diet Coke.
Yeah, nobody touched that.
But like, it just doesn't seem like he actually cares or wants to do better. He also has some other tweets saying that businesses and government organizations may have to pay a price, but everybody else can be free, which again, that's fine, I guess. But it's been so childish. I don't know.
It's a bummer.
Like, I'd like Twitter to be even better. Like, get rid of the bots. Stop talking about the Coca-Cola.
I feel like it probably went to his head. Like everyone thought his other tweets were so funny.
So he just went crazy.
I think he's trying to tank
with the emojis.
I think he's trying to tank it. It's like, you know what? This is for, what is it? How many billion was it? It's
several.
I don't know.
So he just doesn't want it anymore.
Look, as an outsider that knows nothing but yet knows everything, like this isn't what somebody would do if they're like trying to buy something and make it a better place.
Yeah.
You just saying things like, get rid of the bots and stuff, but then just putting out stupid memes, political memes and all this stuff. It's like, you're not trying to unify people by doing that.
But I mean, he brought his mom to the Met Gala red carpet. That's just
you know what? I didn't know that, so I take everything I just said.
That's the kind of guy you want buying Twitter, you know?
I think he always does that, to be fair.
Takes his mom? That's sweet.
So.
She was lovely. He had a pretty good answer to Lala Anthony, who, by the way, should be running every red carpet. She was incredible on the Vogue live stream.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Carmelo Anthony's former wife?
She's so much more than that, Greg.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's how I know Lala, all right?
Every single person that came up to her is like my sister, my family, my friend. Like everyone just loves her.
I don't know. Lala is an Ashley Simpson song.
You would
always will be.
Oh, that's a good song.
Except at the Super Bowl. I
think it wasn't the Super Bowl, was it? It was just a random game, right?
Oh, I don't know. Whatever. She botched it. But again, back when Greg's photo was taken. So, was I telling you about my conspiracy theory that this is all just a move from Meta to take eyes off them and their shadiness for a minute? I feel like the weirder this gets, the more I believe that. And I just made it up at lunch one day.
Okay, that's
I don't know
fine,
what the
Jess.
benefit
I have a lot of holes to poke, but what does Elon Musk's mom care about Meta,
Well, she goes to the Met Gala.
Whoa.
Just drop a couple of
conspiracy
letters,
theory, yeah.
right? I'm just saying. Okay.
And then there's like stories about how there's a shadow crew like egging Elon on to buy this to like, I don't know, to get their own.
Shadow crew sounds like your friend.
And then he's out there like, oh, I got a shadow crew. I'm going to make merch. And he's probably going to make merch and make another $1 billion off shadow crew merch. This isn't real life anymore. What are we doing?
I didn't know poison pill was a real term that people used. I thought it was just like they were using it as a phrase. I know. I've read all about it on CNBC. Whatever. Here's something else no one is going to care about. Instagram is testing a new full screen scrollable display of posts and reels. And to quote Andrew Hutchinson, oh, wow. What a surprise this is.
Oh my God.
Look at this.
Are you kidding?
I've never seen TikTok, but this looks like TikTok.
That is TikTok. That is hilarious.
It's not hilarious. It's stupid. We'll get more into that. But
remember when they changed phones and there was a square photo setting and now this is what we're coming to?
Yeah, it's a thing. And I don't care. Like, I don't mind scrolling through and having full screen, whatever. The interesting thing about this that Ad Hutch coming in clutch pointed out is that stories, the only way you know it's a story is like that panels bar at the bottom so you can swipe through. But the interesting thing about that is that right now there's ads. Every single story I flip through, there's an ad in between every single one. So this will change that experience if this is where they go with that. Because there's no stories thing at the top. We'll have the screenshot up on the video, but there's no stories panel up at the top. The stories are just part of the full screen experience. As you scroll, you'll see reels, pictures, stories, all of that scrolling through.
I just get to Instagram and I'm like, where's the cool picture app that I used to like look at like knife makers and see like progression pics and stuff. And there's just more and more garbage that's being inputted into. It's like now they're just putting in stuff that I don't even follow, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted this.
Nobody asked for that. All right. Speaking of things nobody asked for. If hearing that last bit made you really miss the old look of story bubbles at the top, don't worry, friends. You can visit your old pal circles with faces at the top of your screen on Facebook. But now in your notifications tab. From social media today, the social network's latest experiment on this front comes in the form of new stories-like notification bubbles within your notifications tab, which alert you to new posts shared by your connections. So it looks like what we used to know stories were, but it's not stories. It's just alerting you that there are new posts from these people. You click it. It seems like you go to your feed. It's just a test. It's really stupid. Everything's being recycled. There's no original thoughts. I hate everything. And I don't know if this is a TikTok feature or not. Y'all can let me know. But it looks like Instagram Reels is letting you set playback speed when you create them. And there's not a lot of info on this. Some folks replied. This was a tweet from Matt Navarra that shared from Jonah Manzano, where he showed an example of it when he was editing the feed. Some people replied to the tweet, said this has been around for a while. Other people said they're still not seeing it. So I don't know if it's new.
I don't know if that's a TikTok feature.
I don't understand it. Like, are you saying that I'm recording this video and then it's always going to play at 2x, or am I choosing the options? Users can view it at different speeds.
I think it's what they'd view it at. But I have a piece of news for you. Did you know that my husband listens to our podcast at like 1.5 speed?
I do too.
How does that make you feel? Really?
Yeah.
And sometimes, did you know you can slow down podcasts? So I accidentally changed my setting to like whatever's the option below 1x. And I thought all the podcasts I was listening to, the hosts were drunk. And I was like, what's happening here? And then I realized, but I hope nobody's doing that for us.
Wow. No, that's crazy.
I'm drunk sometimes, but not like today.
That's amazing. I have to listen to it at a sped up pace because it's the only way I can fit it into my commute.
You're such a busy girly.
I'm not. I just only drive for 25 minutes each way. All right. Here's a tweet from Shauna Rempel at Shauna Rempel. First time I've seen a sponsored space, she says. And she shares a screenshot of a Twitter space, and it looks like there's an ad in it. how do you even make that?
I don't know.
Do I get to make that if I use Twitter ads someday? If it gets like, how is, whatever.
Who would want to go to that Chevy event for the draft?
It was the night before the 2022 NFL draft. You can write your own ending with the first ever #Silverado, #ZR2, the truck built to take on what's next. I don't understand the tie-in with sports, but I'm sure they paid a lot of money for that.
Yeah, I'm busy, so.
Me too. Lastly, here from The Verge, Facebook is shutting down its podcast platform after less than a year. It is simplifying its audio offerings. Creators will be unable to upload new shows to the service as of this week, and the platform will close altogether on June 3rd. I don't know if anyone was actually using this, but I'm lighting a candle for you.
All right, now to our segment here. This segment is called PPC Author Kirk. Kirk Williams has a new book that you can pre-order on Amazon. It's called Stop the Scale, Building a Digital Agency You Actually Like. And from the write-up, he says, if you are getting exhausted by the endless emphasis on revenue or employee growth as the assumed primary goal of every agency owner, then this book is for you. It's a clarion call for agency owners to stop chasing unicorn-like growth and instead focus on serving their clients, employees, friends, and families and neighbors, thus make an indelible imprint on the world. This book is not anti-growth, but does offer an alternative path for the overworked agency owner. So it is Stop the Scale by Kirk Williams, and we all read his previous book and enjoyed it. And if you want, go pre-order his book. Just search for PPC Kirk on Amazon. Not really, Kirk Williams.
And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
This was new to me. I don't know if it's new in general. Scratch that. I don't know who needs to hear this. But I was writing an email this week to a client and I wanted to CC Greg, who is out of office. And as I was writing it, I don't know if this is only for internal people because we're on the same team, or if you could see this for anyone with an out of office, but it showed me as I was composing, Greg's out of office and he's returning Wednesday. I thought that was a really neat feature.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Especially like if you were writing the email just to him, that would be a really nice alert.
Thanks, Google, Gmail.
Working hard. LinkedIn, document posts, beautiful, beautiful post format. Hardly working, can't boost them. Why would you have this amazing format that somebody could post organic content and then not let us put a little money behind it?
Yeah,
kind of stupid.
Augustine's
LinkedIn.
Foo thing, his post was that. What is it called? LinkedIn post?
I think they're called like documents.
That needs to be boosted.
It's nice. You can just scroll through. I mean, I understand most people probably want to send traffic to their website, but it is a nice way to just let people read something. If you think they're going to read it staying in the platform, that's great. Let me boost it though.
But you can pay to DM me and I won't read it.
Whatever. Hardly working in the end. Greg?
All right, something that was working so hard it was hardly working is scripts and rules. We had one client whose sales team can't keep up with the leads. I'm not making that up. They're pausing their paid program because they cannot follow up with the leads. So I paused everything on the 1st of May, or right before the 1st of May, and then I forgot that we had a couple of those rules and scripts. I checked in the morning, things were back on. I thought I was going crazy. The scripts and rules, just double check if you're trying to pause something. Usually you might end a campaign. In this case, they're going to want to return these things back on. So I didn't want to do that, but I had to remember those scripts and rules. So just a friendly reminder to you out there. If you're trying to pause something, look at the scripts, look at the rules.
And now for this week's
CoolTool.
As a reminder, our CoolTool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners. And is really, really cool. This week's CoolTool will help you generate schema without feeling like you need to screama.
Great work.
Pausing for laughter from Shep. Schematra helps you create, link, and organize markup for your site. You can easily create a network of standards-based machine-readable data across your pages with the markup generator, and then stay organized with dashboards and visualizations of your schema and how it works together. I've always been really intimidated by this stuff, so this looks really, really sweet and great for entry-level folks like me when it comes to this. Schematra is still in beta, but for now, it is completely free. So if you are interested, you can check it out at schematra.com. But as always, we will have the link in our newsletter as well as on Discord. So pick your poison and check it out. Now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
This week's must-read marketing article of the week comes from the one and only, the BFF of the show 2019, Glenn Gabe, over on GSQI from G Squared Interactive. Sorry, Glenn. He's got a new post out there, and it's all about the March 2022 PRU called Analysis of Google's March 2022 Product Review Update. Quote, PRU. Findings and observations from the affiliate front lines. And Glenn did a super deep dive into everything, including refreshes that are needed, linking to multiple sellers, how multimedia, especially video, can help sites. He even had some good quotes in there saying, in the video section, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and a video can be worth 10,000. And then again, talked about things that aren't included in the algorithm yet, but that seem to be showing up more and more, like the multiple sellers. And then there's just a ton here. And then at the end, Glenn does what is the best thing in his post, I think, is the key takeaways and tips. So you can get to the bottom, and then you can have your little checklist of what to do if you have a site that features reviews. Definitely don't miss this. Appreciate it. And Glenn, we just need the moment of appreciation for Glenn here. He puts out so much good algo update content, and just letting you know, Glenn, we appreciate you. So thank you, Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn. Do you have a furry fun fact, or is this canceled?
Oh, I have one.
I would like to cancel it, but
too bad.
Please proceed.
First of all, shout out to Nicole. Thank you for holding it down last week with the weightlifting rats. I got one for you, Shep.
Okay.
Rats reach sexual maturity after 4 to 5 weeks, meaning that a population can swell from 2 rats to around 1,250 in just a year, with the potential to grow exponentially.
I literally want to cry.
I want to get your reaction face on a t-shirt.
So gross. Okay, and now on to our playlist of curated songs to work to. You can head over to playlist.marketingoclock.com to listen to Marketing a Playlist. I was listening to the Immaculate Collection today, and I need some prayers after that for a fun fact, so I will be adding Madonna's Like a Prayer.
Great pick.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Greg, what is your pick?
All right. I was talking to Jess. I was so excited. It was one of the best things that happened on vacation. I found a new band, and I said, Jess, this is one of my strongest recommendations I've ever made to a human being. And the band is called Crash Diet, which kind of fits me quite well.
One word.
One word. It's a Swedish rock metal band. Menachem Ani, you might love this one. And so it's Crash Diet, and I'm going to go with the song We Die Hard as a tribute to you, because Jess, you like the movie Die Hard. And Shep, do you want to listen to this right now and give your reaction? Because I think it's one of the best things I've heard in 2022.
It can't be worse than the furry fun fact. I'll listen to it.
So we'll listen to it right now, and then we'll come back with Shep's reaction. All right, Shep, you just listened to the song. What do you think?
It wasn't as bad as I thought. It kind of sounded like the singer from the theme song of Phineas and Ferb.
That's what I was telling you. I don't know what you're talking
Really?
about. No idea.
No. Then why'd you say that's what I was telling you?
It was a joke. What words did you just say?
The punchline was a little missed.
I got it.
You know the Phineas and Ferb theme song.
I don't know the 2 words you just said.
They're guys with noses like spoons.
It's a really good show.
Yeah.
How do you...
I hate cartoons and I like it.
Phineas and Ferb?
There's Phineas and
Ferb.
Ferb. There's 104 days of summer vacation. School comes along just to end it.
Never seen this in my life.
Okay, well, listen to the theme song. It sounds just like those gentlemen. I bet it's the same people. It's like, what year is it?
Exactly.
I respect the throwback that they're not trying to be like edgy.
Yeah.
It sounded like we're in the 80s. I didn't hate that.
It's everything. What year is it? It just came out, right? It's new?
2022.
New album, yeah.
Fresh.
Good stuff.
I'm happy for you that you found your passion.
Jess?
I listened to that album twice today because Greg recommended it to me and I couldn't get enough of it. But I knew you were going to choose it, so I picked something different. Plowed by Sponge.
What? That's the thing. Why are all these songs like that? That was like an upbeat kind of song, and then he's just talking about death and coffins. Like, why?
That is life.
Whatever happened to We Belong Together?
Maybe we don't.
All right. That does it for today's show.
It is now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Thanks for listening.
And we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Marketing O'Clock. If you're looking for more information on today's topics, head over to marketingoclock.com/newsletter to receive every single article we covered. We share the news as it breaks in our Discord community. Head over to community.marketingoclock.com to join.
Welcome to this week's Shootin the Heck. We're after our famous Friday news show. We don't talk about marketing anymore. We just
Shoot the heck.
Today we have a fun little challenge. If you didn't know, Jess Budd owns a craft beer shop / bar. I always call it a brewery.
It's not.
It is not.
We do not make the beer.
It's just a hard
Bottle shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brewed and bottled. Brewedbottled.com.
Brewedbottled.com.
Look it up. Anyway, she has this unique situation she's found herself in where per New York State liquor license laws, you have to serve food, right?
Correct. We have
Okay.
to offer food.
And I just think about this all the time. So what are you serving now and what have you done in the past?
So currently our menu consists of some fine Red Baron pizzas. In the past, we have featured ham and cheese Hot Pockets because that was what was available in bulk. Sorry, vegetarians, of which I'm one. And we always have like assorted chips and things, but you have to have a substantial food item, like an entree level. So chips aren't enough. We have to have these things in the freezer. And at our previous location where we were open 3 years, we sold 3 Hot Pockets over the course of that time. We have already hit that as far as serving food in our new
Wow.
location where we've only been open like 3 months. So
Okay.
food's on the rise for us. It's our fastest growing category.
Well, me and Greg want to help you grow it even
Yes.
more. So today we're going to pitch you some ideas. So the only requirements are it has to be, quote, substantial and you don't have a kitchen, right?
We do not have a kitchen. We have a food prep area. And yeah, also just so everyone knows, like we're not trying to make people eat this food. We welcome outside food if you really want to eat.
Yeah.
I just want to establish that as a customer service.
Yeah, we
standpoint.
had a lunch in there. It was catered.
It was
Delicious.
lovely. Yeah.
Okay. Let's do 3 ideas each. You have 3?
I can, yeah.
Okay. My first one's going to shut it down. So I'm just going to
Get out of here.
What are the rules? Am I like voting for
You're
one?
going to pick one at the end.
Is it a face-off? Like we see who?
Yeah, one of us is going to win. The other one's a loser.
Okay, but are we doing rounds or are we doing?
Yeah,
collective?
let's go back and forth.
Okay, perfect.
Which of you is Nicolas Cage?
Not me.
So you're John Travolta.
Oh, no. He's a Scientologist. Okay.
Not in the film.
Soup on tap.
Okay, you know what?
We recently did a soup bracket here in the office. Soup is something that really brings everyone together. You need to add another tap to your line, add broccoli cheddar soup, done deal.
I just imagine the clogging.
That's my thing. It's like obviously that's a non-starter out of the gate. It would be a good idea, but the soup that you would have to serve would just be like broth. It'd be like beef broth because anything else would clog a tap up.
Yeah.
So it's a very creative idea. I love the thought. It's just you don't really think about the execution.
No, I'm not sure
have
the state would
lines
go
of-
for that either.
Why? It's
I don't feel-
substantial.
Not if it's
Not
just
if
broth.
it's just broth. You can't
bet
get any
it's
chunks
not.
in
It's
it.
broccoli cheddar.
So you have to cut the broccoli up and then you have to cut the cheese up and then put it in with the broth. That doesn't make any sense.
And then it's just going to splatter everywhere when you pour it. Like, there's not a good idea.
I've seen like unfiltered ciders. You could fit broccoli cheddar soup in a tap. Oh my God.
Okay,
Imagine if
terrible.
it was one
Terrible.
and then like you rotated it with a beer the next month.
Oh,
my God.
No,
Oh
it
my
would be a
God. Okay.
dedicated
Okay.
soup line,
Oh,
first
geez.
of all.
You're going to get shut down.
Also, we
Put
have a
that in.
microwave. Like, just give me a cup of noodles. Okay, go on.
All right, so I've got a little dish called Best Buds, spelled Buddes. All right,
Like my last name.
and people order this, and you get a trio of some of the things that people can't resist: corn dogs, pigs in a blanket, and pizza rolls. Who wouldn't order that with a beer?
That's
Best
3
buds.
ideas.
They're microwaved, though, right? So they're a little rubbery because we don't have
Yeah.
like a fryer.
Yeah, no, it's microwave. Or you can get an air
Microwave hot
fryer.
dogs.
If you need an air fryer, I have a recommendation. I can get you one. And you just put those in, and people are going to go nuts. You can't see corn dogs on a menu and not order those.
I know. I love corn dogs.
You also don't have ventilation and it's going to smell like fried food.
Fair
Just
point.
saying.
At least she's not going to get shut down. All right, winner first round.
First round Best Buds. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. Soup on tap makes
Soup
me
on-
want to hurl.
Literally, I want to patent the term soup on tap. It's a genius
I'm
idea.
going to serve it in a glass too and make you drink it down.
That's the other thing I was thinking about your business. You don't want bowls. You don't want more equipment. You don't want napkins. Soup on tap, you pour it in a glass. Whatever.
I don't
Sure.
know. Yeah, the other thing is our dishwasher is like purely for liquids. Food particles are a big no-no in there. So we got to keep it to disposable vessels. Sorry,
I've got a
environment.
dishwasher. It's called your hands and a sponge.
Okay, so you're about.
You're gonna make
it's a
me. I
warning.
don't have a grease
It's a
trap
warning.
in my establishment. Like we are getting by on the bare minimum with what we're allowed to
All
do
right,
here.
Next.
Okay. This was inspired. I have a 1.5-year-old. All she wants to eat is frozen Go-Gurt. So I was trying to think of like, people just love food in tubes like that, but we need to freeze it so the babies will eat it and it feels good on their teeth. Gravy.
We
in
have a
tube.
lot of babies coming in
We
too.
have
you know,
90-year-olds?
to order beers. Yeah.
The idea is gravy in a tube.
Oh my gosh.
There is nothing more disgusting than the thought of sucking on a frozen gravy tube with a beer. And I don't think that's substantial enough. I don't think the state would go for that.
I'm going down to Brewing Bottle for one of them gravy pops. That's disgusting.
Again, you wouldn't need bowls or plates.
I understand the portability.
Just a hand.
And maybe we could put some like mashed potatoes somehow in the middle and like a popsicle.
Ooh,
That's
you're making
terrible
my idea better.
Terrible.
Like a creamsicle, but the outer layer is
I'm going to win with mine here because
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
that's
And I'm about to
disgusting.
vomit from that. So mine is a little thing called hot or not. And people get a little platter pre-made. You don't have to do any cooking. You can pre-prep this earlier in the day. And it's a platter of 3 different kinds of cheeses and 3 different kinds of pickles and then crackers to go along with them so they can pair and it could be substantial. And one of them is hot, the cheeses, and they don't know. So they try the little cheese and it's either a not or hot. And it's a fun little game. They could do other drinking and the heat will make them drink more. Hot or not.
Again,
That
I'm
does
actually
sound
not
fun.
sure if cheese and crackers is considered, quote, substantial, but it's far more substantial than a gravy tube, and I'm going with you.
All right.
I mean, Greg's going to win, but pitch your next idea, Chef.
Okay, my last idea. I just think, again, I don't want anything that you need plates, spoon, bowls.
No.
So stealing Greg's cheating idea of a combination of things, I just think shelled foods. You could also add to the ambiance like Texas Roadhouse where they have the peanut shells on the ground. So you could have...
Jess just died inside. If you look on camera, she just died.
It adds to the ambiance. It covers up some of the debris on the floor so you don't have to sweep as much.
You know what's even better? You should get sunflower seeds. People just spit them on the floor.
Sunflower
It becomes the debris on the floor, and you have to sweep more. Where's your...
only at end of day.
People are going to slip OSHA. No. You don't understand, Chef.
My 3 items are peanuts, sunflowers, and edamame.
Do you have a name for this disgusting platter?
Shells galore. I don't know.
No, shells no more. Chef, you're going to make my staff have to work so much harder. They'd probably rather cook food than sweep up edamame off the
Unbelievable.
ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
The state. I'm worried about the health code violations at that point. I don't know how Texas Roadhouse gets away with it. Craig, save us.
Another good one here. This just came to my mind. It's going to be the s'more more plate.
He's
Where-
winning on names alone.
It's a s'more in graham crackers inside of a very buttery biscuit, right? And if you listen, the last 2 items here have been vegetarian and easy to make. So you put the s'more in the microwave, you warm it up, and you get a little bit of a cooked marshmallow, some drippy chocolate, but you have the biscuit, so it's actual substantial
It's a
sandwich.
sandwich.
How do you make the biscuit?
You just buy pre-made biscuits and just cut it in half, throw it on there. There's this place across the street that makes them.
Yeah. Actually, that sounds delicious.
Whatever. I'm never contributing any business ideas again.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not implementing any of these ideas. Our food program is just fine.
So of Greg's ideas, because you hated mine,
s'more and more wins.
that's your overall winner?
For sure. Who doesn't
Okay.
love a biscuit?
And people would try it. And you can charge $10
You absolutely could. It's gourmet. Yeah.
with the tea. Gourmet.
Okay, well, when somebody comes out with gravy tubes in a couple years, you can just send me a check. And we'll see you next week. Did you seriously make it all the way through that episode of Marketing O'Clock? Good for you. If you're looking for more content, there is a lot more where that came from. So click to watch our latest episode with plenty of digital marketing news and hot takes. Also, please subscribe to our show and like this episode because my job depends on it.